Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening. Welcome once again to the Comment Dense Podcast. So, Burr's having some technical issues with his camera tonight. I'm also actually currently eating because the fucking Just Eat, when you order a food, you don't expect to be waiting 2 hours for said food. Yeah. Hello, everyone. More, more delayed than Duke Nukem Forever. I love it. I love it. Anyway, hello, everyone. Welcome. Yeah, at least when it arrived, it's actually good. Um, um, what's that for, Lemming? You must remember the days. Yeah. Uh, true, true. I feel for you, brother. I feel for you. Welcome to the Confidence Podcast, where we comment densely upon the news that's been going on in the world, and the world is certainly there's some things been going on in the world. And oh, 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 spicy news right there. So let's kind of kick off with getting around with the news. Before we do that, what have I been playing this month? Shadow. because I knew that you wouldn't be prepared.
And I didn't have my list up, but I can say some of them have been good, but not as many as I would have liked, honestly. So I've played several games, and I've played some strategy games which I barely got into, so we're not going to even mention them. I played Galactica, which is the upcoming game from the people who brought you War for the Overworld. They're moving
Ooh.
into the theme hospital-esque strategy case with Galactica, which is basically theme hospital in space.
Yeah.
I
Ooh.
really like it. It's got some good ass humor to it.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
It is a lot of fun. Little Kitty Big City, which is adorable.
I'm
I
looking for
love
that.
it. Yeah, it's a bit janky with its controls, but I think they probably have time to tighten it up a bit towards release. Border Bread, which if you like Paper Mario games, thoroughly recommend. Like definitely Paper Mario esque. Not sure I like her combat system though. Like the regeneration of resources that from it is a little stingy. I'm not sure I like it, kind of thing at the start. Maybe it's early days and we haven't really dug into combat yet.
Yeah. I've been playing that, and also the what I noticed, the prompts, or like the way that you block is like all the skill based parts of the combat are really not well displayed to the player.
Yeah, I struggle with that quite a bit because Paper Mario is very good at sort of like even when you don't know the timing, you usually know like, okay, this is just about to hit Mario, I'll press the button then. But this it's kind of like, okay, is this hit or is this gonna hit or like there's a timing issue there that I just don't like, but I think they can tighten it up before release. And Sea of Stars, which is really good. I really do like that.
Yeah.
I like thoroughly recommend sea of Stars. Uh, but also, aside from the demos I've been playing, I've done nothing. I've done nothing but play Roots of Pacha all week.
Oh boy.
I love it. It's basic. It's what I would call. It was in what I would call the pixel. It's pixel farming sim. That's the genre name I've coined for it. Um,
Also, it's a very comfort food.
yes, I really like it mostly because It's another farming sim game, sure, but it's set in the prehistoric period, like early human prehistory when we just started agriculture. So all the normal farm produce looks really different. Like the carrots are purple, like the everything looks just a little bit different, little bit weird, and I really like that because you do domesticate it over the time, and the animals that you get to domesticate are different, and you learn how to irrigate and stuff like that. So there's a progression within it. I really like it, and there's so many like really good quality of life stuff. Like I can't I can't go back to Stardew Valley after this, but there's a lot of quality of life stuff in Roots of Pacha that I will thoroughly miss in Stardew Valley, like a map that's actually useful. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. I'm three achievements away from perfecting that game.
Oh,
Three.
Lemming, what have you been playing, if anything?
Quite a lot up and down this month. I haven't been playing as many demos as I would have liked, but I have been playing a variety of new games, such as Bolt Gun.
Oh yes, as soon as I saw that, I knew that would be.
Yeah.
Bolt Gun. It is a game.
Bolt
very,
gun.
Yes, it is a literal Doom clone. It is a boomer shooter to end all boomer shooters. You start off, you just got your melee weapon, you're punching things, you're hacking apart heretics, and then you drop down a big hole, and you're in a temple, and there's your bolt gun. It gives it reverence, it gives it power, and you are just slaughtering, and it's beautiful. On top of that, I've been playing Starship Troopers Extermination,
Oh,
which is currently in early access. It's a multiplayer Starship Troopers game. You drop onto a planet, you do objectives, you kill bugs, and you leave. It's brilliant. But it is early access, a bit buggy, but getting better. It has very good reviews. And the, game number 3 of 4 here, Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2. Finally released on PC after years on other platforms. To mixed reviews and now overwhelmingly negative reviews. Much to my shame.
Oh no.
Because it's a free-to-play game, the controls are unfortunately janky, and it's full of gacha mechanics. It's like, what's that? You want a mobile suit? Gamble for them.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Thanks, I
Brilliant.
hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, finally,
Sucks.
a Gundam game on PC. Oh, it sucks. Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry.
And finally, a game I've been waiting for a wee while, probably about 6 months now. Released yesterday, and I already have 7 hours in it despite going to work. Kingdom 80s.
Oh yeah,
yes.
I've been seeing that.
Oh,
on
yes.
my Steam.
Yeah, so
it's a lot of fun. It lives up to its name. It's incredibly 80s.
does
Oh,
it
yeah.
have some new mechanics, or is it just a reskin of the kingdom?
It's basically a reskin, but it has some other mechanics. Like, you're not just building a ship to get you from one area to another. In some levels, you need to knock down a wall by souping up a van to punch through the wall. Others, you're like trying to recapture a canoe from the enemy so you can go downstream. All the while, you've got references everywhere. I've already seen Ecto 1, a DeLorean, Optimus Prime.
Oh, nice.
It's full of 80s references, and if you like the 80s and if you like Kingdom, this is a good game, especially when it's less than £10.
Oh. Does it have online co-op?
Unfortunately, not this one.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a
That's a
single player
shame.
experience. It's also quite short. I've nearly finished it.
Oh.
But I'm very much enjoying the process.
I mean, if it's a fun experience, if it has the right length to enjoyment ratio, it doesn't matter if it's long or not.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I'm probably going to replay it because there's a few things I missed.
Well, I've not really been playing anything because I've been too busy this month in terms of getting things sorted out. Literally, the only games I've been playing are the ones I've been streaming. I've been so busy out of work, just making sure that the RPG is getting up to good stuff because keep putting off stuff for that. That is, I've just been so busy. I don't have a chance to play any games, but I'm hoping once I get the RPG into a good place, I'll be back into my normal kind of gaming swing of things. But what have you been playing?
I mean, before I say my thing, I want to remind you that you might want to return to what you've played because remember this is covering May and June, and in May you've been playing an awesome game
Oh well,
that you want to talk about.
well, Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that was a game that was the game for me. That is currently my game of the year. I think right now, and it is.
Yeah, I was hoping you could wax some more lyrical about the game.
Well, I can like wax. So it's first of all, it's a great game. I know people are like saying, "Oh, there's problems with it when it was on release," and I get that, and I don't even know if most of the problems have been resolved right now. But I didn't encounter too many. I mean, I streamed the entire game, and I think I'll put my hand on my heart. You know, there are some bugs that come out, but nothing really egregiously bad that I can recall.
There was only one where it I think there was one where you went to meditate the thing and it hard
And it crashed.
the game, but
Yeah.
that's about the only thing
Yeah.
that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, you were playing it on PS5, and it was PC that was bug central. So I'm guessing this is why you have been spared some of that. But regardless, it is an amazing game, and I feel like this is the game of the year at this point.
Nah,
For a lot of people. For
nah,
me as well.
I'm sorry, but as much as I want it to win, it'll get beaten by Zelda because Zelda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
I've been enjoying the hell out of Zelda to the point where I completely forgot about it.
No, and just to kind of point out, nothing wrong with Zelda. I love Zelda. It's just that I'm gonna basically put my cards on the table. Zelda wins Game of the Year because it's Zelda, not because it's necessarily a game of the year. And I'm just gonna say that. I was gonna say that on the whole chest.
Yeah, Ragnarok was robbed last year.
Yeah.
What did it lose to last year?
Elden Ring.
Well, yeah. Thing is, though, I think this is a bit more difficult because I think this is come on, it's Zelda. It's not gonna. There's no chance it can win Game of the Year. It's got too much star power behind it. You know, yeah. You might as well. Every company might as well just write off whatever game they've got any chance of winning Game of the Year because they know Zelda's going to take it. Even though it should go on, even though it should win on its merits alone, I think that Zelda is an interesting game, but there are much more interesting games out there, personally. Anyway, hello, Drifting. Tries not to melt.
Hello, Drifting.
Hello.
Please don't melt.
Very quickly, Burr, you actually been playing some demos. What have you been playing?
I've been playing. I mean, I'll try to be very quick. So, I've played a few demos, quite a few demos, and I've played quite a few games this 2 months. I've been quite busy. So what I wanted to highlight out of demos that I played, this one is En Garde, which is absolutely amazing. It's an action adventure about a gorgeous, flamboyant, very Spanish, very spunky, very brave heroine. And it's absolutely amazing game. It's like your Zorro, your Crimson Pirate, your swashbuckling adventures.
Please tell me you can be as cheeky as Zorro can be in that, like with the pokes to like the rear end and things like that.
You can be cheekier.
Yes, great. Yes,
you can kick a bucket on someone's head and then fight them.
Yep. I love it. I can't wait to give that a go.
You can swing of a chandelier and kick people into a weapon stand to drop on them. I think I've seen in one of the videos that you can drop someone's trousers.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Not surprised me.
Yeah. Cut that belt. So they, yeah.
It's that kind of game. When it comes out, I'm all over it. I'll be on it like an Nexon.
Not enough games involve humor in their actual combat,
Yes.
in their actual combat, which is
Yeah,
that's what I like
and
about that looking game.
yeah. And I mean, the main character, Adalia de Volador, she's absolutely adorable, and I love her. The next game that I played the demo of is actually the demo was like a length of a good game.
Oh,
It was Lies of P, which
I've
is
heard of it.
the
Yes.
what if Bloodborne but Pinocchio, or maybe what if Pinocchio
Okay,
but
but
Bloodborne?
Bloodborne. Mm.
Yes,
And also
it's
Clockwork. And also
yes.
Steam.
Yeah, it's very steampunk. It looks gorgeous. It feels great. It has great music. It has great animations. It's really at the beginning I was iffy about whether it has good controls, good hitboxes of bosses, etc. But then I started looking closer at it, and it's really good. It's well made. A lot of people are moaning that it has too much of an influence taken from Bloodborne, but I don't mind it. Bloodborne was great.
If it's
The-
taking inspiration and giving it its own
Yeah.
spin, I think that's fine.
And the whole thing with like the premise of the mutiny of all the automatons that are ruling the city, and Geppetto being the creator of most of them, and his best work, which is the titular P, trying to save the world. It's a very interesting take on the book. It's fun.
Gives me very
Yeah.
Gives me very American McGee's Alice kind of vibes, really, with that kind of
Yeah,
plot.
very much so. Yeah, I like that kind of deconstruction of a known work of literary literary fiction, and coming up with new interesting ways to reinterpret it. And the third demo that I want to highlight is Stray Gods, the role-play musical. It's like, imagine Wolf Among Us, but musical. As you're a singer in a band that gets mixed up with the Greek gods living among us. That's the second time in 1 minute that I said Among Us. Amogus. Yeah, and it has really great musical numbers. And it's literally like in the musical, it suddenly turns into a song. And like in Wolf Among Us, you controlled narrative, you make choices. That includes the choices within the song, what kind of lyrics you want to sing, what kind of themes you want to put in the song.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and I absolutely love it. So those were the three demos that I remember the best from what I played. And from the games that I actually played, like one was the Jedi Survivor, which I loved, even though I had moments where the frames would drop from 60 to like 15 in some locations that are not really well optimized on PC. But it was still an amazing game, and I had a lot of fun with that. But another game that I was playing, yes, sorry,
no, just saying that's good.
Yeah. So the game that I spent most time with is Marvel Midnight Suns, which is made by Firaxis, which is the company behind XCOM and XCOM 2.
Civilization.
And Civilization. And it's the mechanic, the fighting mechanic is like XCOM, but instead of moving the characters, instead of like having percentage to hit, that was replaced by card plays. It's a deck builder game. You can modify decks of certain characters, and that makes you get the cards randomly for the heroes that you have chosen for the team. You play with the teams of 3. So if you get cards for this character, you can move this character, you can attack with this character, etc. So that's how you strategize within a battle. And outside of the battle, that was something that I had some problems with, because you spend time in this hub location and you like have a lot of like really weird activities not fitting the theme of the world is ending. We have to do something because you can like go stargazing with Blade, you can go chill at the pool with Captain Marvel, you can go work on the car with Ghost Rider, and that kind of things. And I really had problems with that until I decided, okay, this is Marvel's version of Fire Emblem. This is just waifu simulator. So at the moment I decided it's fine, I was fine with it, and I started to have fun. Like, suddenly you get to do things like play Go Fish with Doctor Strange, and it's just it's you can find the hilarity in that.
Right. Well.
And last but not least, there is a game that I started playing last week, and that would fit very well our theme today, which is the game is very obscure indie title you might not have ever heard of, but it goes by the name of BioShock.
Oh.
Because I've never played BioShock, so I decided that I want to try because I don't want to miss out on what BioShock is.
Yeah.
And I'm still struggling a bit with, because the whole legend of BioShock is kind of taking away my enjoyment of this game. Because I'm trying to have as much fun as the legend of this game demands from me. It's like this is the seminal immersive sim. I must enjoy it, and I must take all I can from it. I'm still struggling with it. There are things that are really, I know, but it's hard to internalize that.
No, look, I had such a bad time with Portal, and I was like, I've got to like this game. Like everybody says, like you need to play this as like a PC game, but it's just like I'm not enjoying it, and it's okay. It's okay to encounter these seminal games and just go, it's just not for me.
Yeah, it's
I had
an FPS, so it's.
Oh.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I bounced off Ocarina of Time. I just couldn't get into it.
Well, strangely, I bounced out of Ocarina of Time as well when I was trying to play it on the 3DS. But I think I will find my legs and my enjoyment in BioShock. I really like some of the elements of the world building. Like you have to have money for everything. Like whenever you want to heal yourself, whenever you want to gotta have money.
Money.
I mean, that's kind of the point of the game: is failed capitalism.
It is. It's like ultra capitalist liberal dystopia, and I feel that with every pore of my skin. So, and I do enjoy that. Unlike many games, you can like do anything while the diary elements, the audio logs are played. You can just continue playing the game.
Yeah, you can have them running. You don't have to be in the menu.
Yeah.
Shocking.
More games should have that. It's surprising how few games have that.
Yeah, it's like every time I see a game where it's just like, no, you must stand and listen to this audio log. Just like, bro.
You must stay a while and listen.
All gather round the fire, children. I'm going to tell you a story. No drifting off.
Yeah, it's like Redfall. One.
Also, drifting.
So that's all.
Drifting saying Ocarina of Time, you mean that game where, as a kid, I never got a Kokiri virus and considered the whole game? Ouch.
In fairness, that happened to me with Golden Sun at one point. Like, I got stuck in the first village, and I was like, I have no idea where to go. And then I realized it was really simple. You have to just the way that there's a light beam that's hitting a wall. You press A on the bit of the wall it's hitting. Dumb.
Yeah, so like the joys of playing the games when we don't have the primer or manual for it, and it's not explained in the game itself, like it was in the olden days.
Yeah, it's what this was. I mean, I think that's probably going to discussion for the time, like games we bounced off on in the future. But well, let's we're kind of being to time. Let's kind of get into the news segment of. Let's start off with something. Let's start off with the negative, so we can kind of build up. Shadow, we're leaping right into yours. We can't rewind time and sort this one out.
Yeah.
After that, there's no way but up.
Yeah, mine is the basement. Well, it would have been like the basement of the basement of the basement.
It's the 6 feet under.
Now it's just basement level. It's not like basement.
It was subterranean first. But yeah, no.
It was subterranean first. Okay, so it's World of Warcraft. Yes, we're going back to that because I can't not talk about Activision Blizzard apparently. But yeah, so
we want to start talking about them, but they just keep doing stupid shit.
Yeah. They don't let us.
Yeah, and this was kind of at the top of the why the fuck did you do this kind of thing. And it isn't just the Overwatch stuff, which is also bad, but we're not going to talk about that. Well, I'm not going to talk about that today. I don't know about my co-hosts, but like, so there's a patch on the public test realm for World of Warcraft at the moment, and it's still in testing, and it's basically there's a quest that focuses on repairing time because shit's going down in the time stream and we have to repair it every now and again. So there was a quest on the PTR in which you have to repair the timeline. But the bit that you know, I am struggling in the ability to word this because
you may want to start with the story that the quest was supposed to fix.
Yeah, so this goes back to Warcraft 2, if I remember correctly. Warcraft 2, where it's the fight between the Orcish Horde and the mostly human alliance, and the Orcs have red dragons as a part of their fight. And the reason why they have red dragons as a part of the fight because they've captured the Dragon Queen Alexstrasza, chained her using the Demon Soul. The Dragonmore Orcs have chained Alexstrasza using the Demon Soul, and by the use of the Demon Soul, they force her to mate with her consort and have eggs so they can use them in warfare. So, this is a point of WoW lore that is ignored for hopefully obvious reasons, because of the sexual assault and the forced pregnancy.
Oh,
so
drifting.
Yeah, so this
drifting. If you think it's yikes now, you wait. You just wait.
Yeah.
This quest that was on the PTR was basically, oh yeah, somebody's taken the demon soul and put it somewhere where they shouldn't. You need to get the demon soul back. You need to find the demon soul and put it back. So the sexual abuse of Alexstrasza can continue. Oh, by the way, don't tell Alexstrasza about this. We'll keep this on the down low.
Yeah.
Kind of
See,
thing.
now you, the player, are complicit in this.
We are now complicit in sexual assault. Woo! And so we come back to the quest giver, who is a trans woman, by the way. And we go back to her and say, yeah, it's done. And the quest giver says, yay, we did it! We did an absolutely normal quest, and that nothing bad ever happened.
Yeah. There's gonna be a little secret.
It's going to be our little secret. She says, with Alex Strasser standing right next to her. And if you talk to Alex Strasser and say, which pretty much is the dialogue option of just like, she basically is understandably not pleased at the fact that you perpetuated this. And then she storms off. So, yeah, this was not great.
Hold on, can I inject here?
I hear you.
Can I inject here? All I'm gonna say is, yikes!
Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
that's yikes forever.
Yeah, the quest giver is Chromie, a canonically trans woman in the most front center trans character there is in World of Warcraft. And with everything that's happening in the let me just let's step back a moment. Okay, so there's all the shit that's going on in America right now and the UK about LGBT rights, especially trans rights, being under attack right now, and also we're perpetuating the sexual assault by the company that had several allegations about sexual assault. Can we not just what? What?
I want to know how it even got yeah.
Yes.
Anyone.
Yeah. So here's the worst thing about it. Well, actually, first I'll come back to it. First things first, I am pleased to announce that it's actually been removed. It's been removed. Blizzard, after a while, it took them a while, but they did come back with a post saying, "Yeah, we'll change it," sort of thing. Really, really sort of yeah, we've heard that there's been some interesting bit the players have not been entirely happy about the quests, so we'll change them without specifically mentioning which quest it was.
If I may ask,
let me finish first.
Okay.
So and then it was changed it finally a couple of days ago it finally came onto the PTR again, and now it's been changed to the whole thing has been that whole setup has been removed, and now it's like, hey, now we are complicit in getting Alex Strasser rescued in the canon timeline now, because it's like it's still something is out of place and you must put it back, but it's more a case of, hey, you need to take this dragon egg and put it here so another character can come and rescue Alex Strasser. And Alex Strasser is still there after you finish the quest, but she's much happier, understandably. Now, here is the worst thing about this. Well, that's not the worst thing. The worst thing was there was some community reaction in which people were defending this, defending the sexual. Yeah, because the WoW community is a cesspool, and I absolutely hate it. And but yeah. So now, what happened here was something that was not very good. If you, like myself, was quite hooked into WoW lore, what happened was several, I think they're ex-Blizzard devs, maybe some current ones, they came out and somebody said, I think it was Eric Covington, who'd recently been fired from Blizzard for writing quest text that was making a funny ha ha he he joke about capitalism, and apparently Bobby Kotick's feelings were hurt because it was too much like him, and so Eric got fucking booted out. Yeah, the whole goblin thing is a whole nother kettle of fish. But he came in and said, "Oh, there's been times where I've been writing quest text for things, and nobody has looked at it until it hit PTR."
No one?
No one had looked at it until it hit the player test realm.
That's just bad.
That is
That's
terrible.
Some
That is
people
really
ain't doing their fucking jobs.
Yeah, exactly. And to make it worse, it also came out later. Now, this is unverified, but multiple sources have said this now. To like this quote I'm going to read right now is unverified. So there's two. Just for context, there is the quest designer team on WoW, and then there's historians. Historians hold all the stuff about WoW's lore, and the quest designers do all the quests. This I tried to find this quote. I couldn't find the original source, so sorry. Quote: When I was on the historian team, this was a key thing. Not sure about what this is. We're there to help design, not to corral them. We're there to help them deliver on the story they want to tell, not constrain them with the canon. So, and Eric also said something to this sect of the lore team is there to help quality control my creation. If I ask them, if I ask them, because they are not by default inserted into every development process across the company. They are one team supporting the whole of Blizzard. They are a resource to be called on, not a police hovering over creators. Now, if in a vacuum, I can understand that. I can understand, like, you don't want, I can understand that. But if you have a game that is very centered around its story and its lore, why the fuck are the lore team an optional choice to be consulted? Like, bad enough that there's a chance that things can get into the build, that go onto the PTR and nobody's ever seen them. So it takes the player base going, why the fuck are we complicit in sexual assault? For them to go, oh yeah, shit, maybe we shouldn't have this in here, kind of thing. And making the trans women also complicit in this. Like bad enough that's that. But also, it's coming out that everything in WoW, like all of the story, everything, it's just a case of, yeah, I mean, we have a story in here, but if a quest designer thinks that, it's cool to burn down the world tree, then they'll just do it. They don't need to consult lore, kind of thing. And it's like, oh, okay, so what was the fucking point of me being invested in this franchise then? If you could just rewrite the lore whenever you fucking feel like it. Like, what's the effing point? Like, what? Okay, so if you really wanted to, you could just throw one of my favorite characters under the bus, or just have them turn evil because we need a villain, and we can't be asked to write a new villain because the last time we tried to write a new villain, we made him about as cardboard cutout is like fucking, I don't know, Rishi Sunak. I don't fucking know.
Oh dear.
Yay, political humor. But yeah, that's like bad enough that a whole quest about sexual assault and the player's complicity within it managed to make it onto the player test run with nobody looking at it and going, maybe we shouldn't do this, especially with the prior allegations this company's had.
Yeah, like you think.
Yeah, like, okay, so now we've also found out that Blizzard could not even give a flying fuck about the core impact of this game. Apparently, they write
Yeah.
every expansion if it's the last, so that's why none of them feel connected at all, because everybody's trying to one up the other. Like, we had one expansion which ended with a giant sword being shoved into Azeroth. Are we going to address it? No fucking way. It's just stuck in the side of Azeroth, and now it's a meme about how many times the player base asks about it, and they're just like, haha, what sword? And it's like, haha, that's really fucking funny, except until it's not fucking funny anymore, because now we've figured out that you don't give a shit. You just here to write the big moments. And everybody got their knickers in a twist when they burned down the world tree and essentially tried to commit genocide, and everyone was, and then they were like, oh, why is the player base getting their asses so tied up? that we make genocide jokes and stuff like that, burning the tree jokes. Well, I don't know, WoW. I don't know, Blizzard. Why do you find it funny to just touch on real life heavy subjects like genocide, like the Nuremberg trials, like fucking sexual assault and rape and stuff like that. And then you're just gonna conveniently just be like, oh no, we're not gonna handle it properly. We're just gonna hand wave it all. There's so many female characters in WoW, specifically dragons. That I notice that have been forced into pregnancy, forced into sexual assault, and been treated so badly, ignored by the writing. And you know what? I'm fucking sick of it. I can't even look at WoW the same again. Kudos, you actually did what the community asked and you got rid of it. Yeah, congratulations. I'm glad you did that. Genuinely, I'm glad you did that. I mean, there was no other way that could have ended, because otherwise it would have gone fucking nuclear if it made it onto release. But that's it. I can't play WoW anymore.
It should have never been there in the first place.
Yeah.
It should never have been there in the first place. It should have somebody should have looked at that before it even made it onto the public test realm and said, "What the fuck is this? Do you not even think the reason why I'm so angry is one, nobody oversaw this. Nobody looked at this and thought, this is kind of fucking awful.
I mean, did anybody proofread the entire concept?
Apparently not.
No.
Apparently just made it to PTR and nobody looked at it.
I mean,
I don't know what's worse, that it made it to PTR and nobody saw it, or people saw it and were like, yeah, this is fine.
I can imagine how no one saw it, because with employee bleed that they've had.
Oh yeah, that as well.
Yeah, I can imagine how there was no one to look at it.
And it's just I've said a lot of times oh, this is me quitting WoW thing, but now I am done. I am 100% done with WoW. Knowing, going through all this, experiencing it, and then finding out that the franchise I love and care about, that I've put that I've learned the lore behind, and I can pull out of my head at a drop of a hat. Oh yeah, we don't really give a shit about that. If it stands in the way of our artistic vision, we're just gonna fucking change it. Everything you thought you knew, we could just write it over. We could make one thing they did was basically say, oh yeah, all the gods of the afterlife, they're just robots. They literally did that. And
To be fair, one of my favorite authors did that, and I've never been the same since.
Yeah, no, it's I can understand, in any other, I think it could have been a really interesting reveal, but Blizzard could not give a flying fuck, and they just thought, oh, it's really cool. Wouldn't it be really cool if everything was just a 3D printer? No, Blizzard, it's not cool. It's really boring. It takes a lot of the mysticism out. Yeah. Enough of that.
I think we should move on before you get
more positive stuff, please.
Lemming. Well, we got a good positive thing. We got which is Bird, but let's go to Lemming next, I think.
Yeah, well, I've got a couple of small things that I'd like to mention as news. But the first one is continuing to dunk on Blizzard.
Go on.
Overwatch 2 is now not fucking worth it.
Yep.
I mean, when was it?
When they said that they would have a single player storyline, which they've since went, oh yeah, that's not happening.
But you could buy chapters, apparently.
They have single player story missions and hero mastery missions, but not an actual story campaign, which is what people were wanting. They went, we can't do that anymore. It's like, why? Lots of people are playing now. You have your money.
Which is also what people were promised. It's that was one of the key points why they slapped a 2 in front of that.
Mm-hmm. And moving away from the Blizzard stuff, because that's enough of that.
Right, we bury the body.
Yeah. News about the Nexon versus the Dark and Darker devs situation.
Oh?
the Seoul District Court in South Korea has pulled up one of these
Oh,
Hold it.
and basically denied an injunction against Nexon to basically they were trying to stop Battle Mace Studios, Iron Mace Studios, not Battle Mace, Iron Mace Studios from being able to continue developing their game and providing new evidence to the court, and as such have also received a series of losses in that they've been found to be lying in their court documents, potentially, which isn't going well for the multi-billion-dollar corporation. So I'm watching this with great envy. And the other piece of news, these are all just quick fire, I might actually start playing Flight Simulator at some point.
Oh
Ah.
yes, the ornithopter.
Yeah, they're actually adding Dune as a fly around thing in Flight Simulator, and I'm a massive fan.
Yeah, let's be 100% honest. The ornithopter is one of the coolest fucking
cool
like,
design.
flight vehicles out
One of the
sci-fi.
coolest
So cool.
fictional
Yeah.
aircraft of all time.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
Hands
it's
down.
so cool.
Yeah.
Like especially from the movie as well. Seeing it in action, just like
Yeah.
wow.
Just the
And then
fact, like,
flight
in-
sim looks so good.
Like watching it in the original games, like I played Dune 2 back when I was younger, and the opening sequence had it was flapping the wings quite slowly. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
that might work. You know, it's flapping like a bird, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And then reading the books, like it's supposed to be more insect-like. Okay, I can see it. And then
Yeah.
seeing it in the last movie and the upcoming movie, and they're freaking
Yeah.
buzzing so fast you can barely
Yeah,
see
the
them.
fucking dragonflies. Yeah.
Oh, it's such a
And it's
beautiful design.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And they're all different designs as well. Each house has a different design.
Really?
If you watch the movie,
Oh.
the Atreides ornithopters are completely different from the bigger, bulkier, heavier Harkonnen ones.
Oh wow.
Oh.
There are differences that if you watch them, you can actually
Yeah.
see, which is pretty cool. Kudos to
as-
the design team.
Yeah. Lemming, I have a question to you as
Yep.
someone who's probably versed in the lore of Dune. Because
Please.
I want to know whether the House of Ordos ever appeared anywhere except Dune 2 and Dune 2000.
No, Ordos were unique to the games.
Yeah, okay.
They basically invented Ordos as a stand-in for the House of X, or the House of Nine. I've never learned how to pronounce it. But they were basically a stand-in force to act as a third playable faction in the game. But the House of X is so mysterious and unknown that they went, okay, we won't use them as the house themselves. We'll create a third house and call it Ordos.
Because I had a lot of fun
Actually,
with
the-
Ordos.
Oh, Ordos were fun. You know, the saboteurs,
Yes,
the ability to
especially-
mind control things. So
Yeah,
much fun.
and then deviator launcher. Oh my god, that was such chaos.
Like, having a rocket launcher that can turn enemy forces to your side was so
Yeah.
much fun, but also hell to play against.
can
Yeah.
imagine.
Let's bring a bit of positivity back into
Yes.
today's news
Yes.
with the final news article from Burr, which is a very wholesome one.
Yes. Okay. So, first of all, I want to remind you of the existence of one of the most amazing, wholesome people in the gaming community. Someone that I had the privilege of meeting and hugging, a fellow big beard brother, Jirard Dragon Rider
Yes.
Khalil.
Yes.
Can confirm he's a really, really nice guy.
Yeah.
Yep. The only person at CogsCon I actually had my photo taken with.
Oh really?
Ah. Yeah.
That's a nice story. I'll tell you all later.
He's an absolute wonderful, wholesome person.
He's a pro.
And last time we've covered another story regarding Jirard, where he bought all the games from 3DS store and Wii U store and donated them to the Game Preservation Foundation, I think, to keep them forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this story is equally amazing. So you might know at the beginning of June there was Summer Game Fest
Yes.
and a lot of other events that were accompanying it. Like there was quite a few indie devs. There was Day of the Devs. There was Wholesome Direct. But there were also some made by the Media Indie Exchange, aka the Mix. One of them was Guerrilla Collective, that I really enjoyed watching, and the other was The Mix. And The Mix was supposed to happen after Summer Game Fest in the evening, but it turned out that Jirard was one of the media people, one of the streamers that was invited to cover the event on Twitch to showcase the things. But when they all were entering the building, all the indie developers, all the all the people that were presenting the games, the fire marshal came in and said that they can't enter the building because it turns out that the owners of the place, of the venue, did not deliver some of the papers. They did not do their paperwork, and the fire marshal was not able to allow the event to happen in on-prem. And the mix would not have happened if not for Jirard, because Jirard decided, hey, listen, my office is not far from here. I can try to take as many of the people, as many of the developers as I can to my office and have an all-nighter, have an all-night stream showcasing your games. This is literally what he did. There were 40 companies that were supposed to be shown on the mix. Jirard was able to fit 22 teams in his office. And for over 6 hours, all night, he and then occasionally swapped with his team. He was showcasing the game. He was talking to the developers. He was presenting the game, letting them showcase it. Sorry. And then after that, he started talking to the remaining 18 teams that he wants to cover their games later at a later time. So literally, Jirard saved the mix.
The true
Absolute
MVP.
legend.
Not just that,
absolutely
but
legend.
him and his team put on they made an event. They showed the people around the office. They put out food. They put out drinks. You know, given the fact they never even planned this to be a thing, they kind of grabbed it and made made something out of a disaster. You know.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and it makes sense because Jirard and his team have run Indieland a couple of times in the year where they showcase a lot of they have like a 24-hour live stream of showcasing indie devs kind of thing. Was it multiple days? Can't remember. I don't tend to tune in, but I do know they do that quite often. So it makes sense that Jirard was just like, I guess we just have another Indieland. Just have it a little close.
It's still an incredible feat of logistics to organize it like in 3 hours, because it's like the mix was supposed to start at 6 Pacific time. They started at 9 because he had to organize everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's still like organizing everything in 3 hours is like
They moved.
absolutely amazing.
3 hours to go. Okay, how many people per team? How many teams can we fit in? How much food, drink, etc. do we need to get ordered?
Yeah,
get everybody in and do it.
It's just like, do you have your stuff here? Can you move it? You know.
It's a logistical nightmare.
I don't think these are games that are also meant to be played not really on like home systems. So it's like, okay, how do we load these games onto platforms that we can play them and showcase them, things like that. Looks like that. Very interesting.
So they did have to like connect the dev kits and setups to his streaming setup. So it was incredible, and you can watch the VOD on Jirard's Twitch page.
And a big up, because Jirard is a nice guy, but he literally could have just been like, it's a very sad state of affairs, and nothing could have been done. He was under no obligation himself to do anything, but he stepped up.
Yeah,
and that's incredible.
He was basically, he's just like, well, fuck it, nobody else will do it, but I will, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
where most people would have just shrugged and went, oh, well, I guess that's a bust, and went home. He went, right, we're going to do something.
I never get people who give Jirard shit, because he's one of the few people I can understand in the industry who's like, he really does love gaming. And sure, maybe you become disenfranchised with gaming if you do it all the time, but he really does love gaming as a passion, as a hobby. And, the guy is just, will go down as a legend, in my opinion, in the gaming
He's
community.
a class act through and through.
Yeah, he's just a good guy. Like every time I've met him at CoxCon, like he's just a decent chap.
Yeah, very sweet and wholesome.
He's very
and
sweet.
and supportive. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And also all the chats that he was having with the people from those dev teams that he was showing the games, some of whom he knew already personally. So it was very wholesome, very chill discussions. But they would chat, they would have fun together while the devs would showcase the game.
He now has a whole flock of devs who will die for him.
Yes.
To be fair, I would. What was the event that was supposed to go ahead? What was it called again?
It was the mix.
The mix. I mean, the mix. I mean, you've had one venue let you down, and you had another venue completely gone underneath that. I think you know where you're probably going to host it next year, right?
Yeah, he's going to get so many people for it now.
It kind of surprises me that the owner of the building did not, because the mix is not guilty in.
No. It's not their fault at all.
Their presentation that they had a day before, the Guerrilla Collective, which is also an event done by the Media and the Exchange. That went fine. That went absolutely good, well. So it's just all the fault of the premises owner.
Yeah, they would. It might have been they have to submit for each event, or their fire safety ran out. It's probably submit for each event, because you don't want, because each one's a little bit different.
Well, each event will have its own electronics. It'll have different setups. It'll need its own fire. What's the word I'm looking for? Just like a look around, make sure everything's fine.
Fire assessment.
That's the one. And it just hadn't been done.
Yeah, that's like that makes me it does make me cross. But it's just a case of, for God's sake, guys, come on. Like, it's a fire assessment. Everybody's got to do it. Yeah, I know it's a pain in the backside, but it's a damn sight better than the whole fucking building burning down and killing someone.
Yeah.
Fire bad.
Fire bad.
Fire very bad.
Thank you, Drifting. Fire bad.
Yeah. Especially, I would say, fire bad in American buildings that are made out of paper and air.
I mean, the company I work for in my real life understands that fire bad, because one of their locations in the UK burned down last week.
Oh no!
So that's a thing I've had to deal with.
Yeah, there was a legit fire in my hospital a couple of months back.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was in one of the plant rooms, which is full of electrical equipment. So you can imagine, it was in the plant room, which is full of electrical equipment and pure oxygen bottles.
Boom.
Yeah. We were very lucky. It didn't go too out of hand. But like, fires in hospitals are extremely dangerous. You don't fuck around with them.
No,
you don't.
You evacuate until you can get proper professionals in.
Yeah.
Well,
I also wanted to shove in a tangential opinion. If you remember when we were watching the Future Game Show that was hosted by Yuri Lowenthal and Laura Bailey.
Yes.
I was comparing that at the time to Guerrilla Collective, because when I was watching that show, the Guerrilla Collective was hosted by Jay Watts, who is a game dev, who is a CEO of Coexist Games, and what's his name? Justin Woodward, who is the creator and CEO of the Mix, the Guerrilla Collective, the Black Voices in Gaming. and you could tell compared to Yuri and Laura that performance was very rough around the edges. But you could see how very passionate they were, how very how very knowledgeable they were about the games, and how passionate they were comparing games to other games, explaining some things, talking about how this development process went and that, and saying all those things. And I really prefer when it's like completely not really quality in terms of presentation, but in terms of the passion and what you have to say.
That's fair.
I felt like the one from Future Games Show, it was a bit too professional, too acted out instead.
Yes. Also, for before we move on to the next thing, very quick thing. Play a drinking game. Play a drinking game, people. Drink every time you see a woman in the summer games fest. I guarantee you'll be able to drive home.
Yeah. Also, don't drink every time you see a woman at Day of the Devs or the Wholesome Direct.
You won't be safe to drive.
Yeah.
No.
But no, let's move on to the main topic of tonight's podcast, which is the topic of FOMO, the fear of missing out. It has been a topic that is raised by a member of our community, specifically the one and only Devato.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Who is no longer missing out because he's now returned to on the British soil.
Is he on British soil now?
Yes.
Is he? Oh, good. Well, that's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, the topic
Chicken Lord has returned.
Yes.
The Chicken Lord. So yeah, FOMO. Liberty Game. So Divot messaged us back in April of all places, because of course we didn't have a podcast for May or June because I've been so busy. So Liberty Time Games on content that impact the FOMO via marketing. FOMO, aka the fear of missing out, for those that don't know. So everyone, I think, has had experiences with FOMO in the past. In fact, the idea of if you don't act now in this game, you will miss out on this content, and you will not get it ever again, or you may not get it ever again. We're not going to tell you if you're going to get it ever again, but as far as you know, this is the one and only time you're going to have to get to engage with this content. It's become a very big staple, especially of live service games lately in the last few years. What is people's? We hate this. I mean, I was about to ask what the general opinion around the table is of this. I don't think we're going to find very much of a differentiating opinion.
Much to said here. I think the overall opinion is a big fat. If you're a dev that does this, fuck you.
Hates it, precious.
Yeah, we hate it, and the worst thing is the majority of people still seem to buy into it. And it's the statistics and it's the bars, it's the numbers that dictate what is being continued. And the FOMO and the artificial scarcity is working. So there will be more and more FOMO.
Yeah, you've got people who are like, "Oh yeah, I got the shiny thing when it was limited edition, so I'm better than you who did not have the shiny thing when it was." It's like, you're a sad sack of shit. Please stop.
The thing is, I'm someone who
I lived through it this entire weekend.
Yeah.
The example. I was at an anime convention this weekend. My local anime convention that I go to every year and have a great time, and all the cosplayers were out in force.
Nice.
Yes, bro.
No, I was about to make a joke like, wait, were you?
yes, I was. And
it's not like we got millions of photos from you.
And as living proof, that FOMO is live and real, at least 20 to 30% of all the cosplayers were Genshin Impact cosplayers.
Ooh, yeah.
Now I'm sitting there going,
which might as well
are so good, but my god,
might as well be called FOMO the game for all from what I know.
Yeah.
it has become a way of people almost guaranteeing an opportunity of, or companies preying on the aspect of, you don't want to miss out, do you? You can only get this, and you want it, don't you? And you want it, and that's fine that you want it, but you could only get it at this time. So you better act now, go now.
Get it,
Yeah.
go, get it. I mean,
Yeah.
FOMO is the reason I gave up Overwatch originally. I bought the collector's edition with the extra skins and stuff. It was like, yes, this game is so hype. I need it. Buy the biggest edition. Play the game. And then about 3 to 6 months later, I realized, oh, I've spent actual money on hoping to get skins that I didn't actually get. This isn't healthy.
Yeah.
Same, and with the same game, I was very much hyped into Overwatch. I was a big fan of that game, and
Yeah.
then
I still
slowly it just
bit
by bit.
I still hold that the Overwatch trailer, the original cinematic trailer, puts Pixar to shame. It was an amazing animation piece.
And the first cinematic videos that were accompanying the game were amazing. But I would say those things are also part of the FOMO culture, because when you have, and that's something that I think is slowly dying, maybe already dead, but there was a big hype in like 2017, 2016 about having a product like a game split into multiple media types. Like you had Overwatch comic books, you had those Overwatch movies, those short clips. You had all kinds of things like that, like a show or things like that, and people were like, yeah, we're gonna be doing that, and people are gonna want to get more and more involved in all the media that we create.
Yeah, it wasn't just a video game, it was a multimedia franchise.
Yeah.
God, the amount of fucking games that were like, yeah, we're gonna put parts of our story in books. So if you want to know what actually happened off screen, you'll have to buy the book. It's just like, could you not? Could you really not do that?
I'm sitting there going, well, why can't you just do what Halo did and have all of your game story in your game, and if you want anything outside of that, you buy the books.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm also with Burr and Lemming. I also got sucked into the loot box hell, but not in Overwatch this time. I got sucked into loot box hell in Star Wars: The Old Republic.
That'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, because if there's any genre of games which peddle FOMO most of the time, it's MMOs.
Oh, yeah.
There are numerous I can think off the top of my head, like Star Wars: The Old Republic had loot boxes which had prizes within them that they would eventually cycle out, and you might never see them again, ever, and you just have to wait until they popped up on the auction house, or
If they ever popped up again on the auction house.
if they ever popped up on the auction house for obscene amounts of money. In World of Warcraft, you have achievements that you must get that reward you with a mount that you must get before the next patch or the next raid tier, otherwise it disappears forever. And good luck, sort of thing. It's usually called ahead of the curve. So you have to beat a certain boss at a certain difficulty before the end of the raid tier, or no, you never get it again, which is dumb. And I also put in the trading post of recent, which is more bullshit, which MMOs are known for now, where it's like, yeah, we have like each month we change our stock of things, and we have like, at the moment it's just transmog stuff and mounts and little pets and things. But it's like, yeah, you better log in and get this reward, because you might not be able to get it next month at all. Goodbye. And they had a recent thing in the Blizzard store where it was like, yeah, here's some items that make you look like the Guardian Medivh. They're only going to be in the Blizzard store for a temporary time, and then they're going to disappear. Although they'll appear on the trading post later in September. But you want them now, don't you? You might not be playing in September.
Well,
so why don't you fork out some real money for them?
the oh
and then,
yes,
of course, there's Runes. I'll finish up in a sec. And then there's RuneScape, which every time has like a Christmas event, an Easter event, But each reward for each of the festive rewards for each year is different, and you can't get the previous year's reward at all. So yeah, if you wanted the Easter reward that turns you into a bunny, then you're square out of fucking luck, mate. If you didn't play in that year, Nina. Yeah, so MMOs can go die in regards to FOMO. I hate it.
I mean, just a lot of free-to-play, a lot of games are picking up just like limited time thing, play us now. And it's just like, your gameplay stands up. Why are you putting this in to make me feel guilty about playing your game, where if it wasn't in there, I'd play the game because the gameplay is good? Rainbow Six Siege, for example. Fortnite, for example, now that there's no build. All these games that we could quite happily play on again and again and again if these mechanics weren't in there, and yet they are, just because money. And here's another thing that I've just realized is there is a FOMO game out there that I own and I've played that the FOMO isn't even for it isn't for anything.
Go on.
The VR game Final Assault, which is a VR strategy game where you actually tell your troops where to go by pointing.
Mm-hmm.
There is a login for 30 consecutive days achievement.
Ah.
It's like, I don't get anything from logging in. What's the point?
I mean, I don't know if they
sometimes. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know if they used to. I don't know if it's changed since then. But what I will say, and I can't believe I'm gonna say this. GTA Online, for all their kind of themed events that they do, like the the Christmas, the Easter events. From what I recall, you could if you attend an Easter event, you can basically just get everything from not just that year, but from the previous years as well. And that's just nice. It's like, oh, so you're not being in the game for a few years. That's fine. You come along to the Easter event and you'll get all the stuff. Here's the stuff. You're still going to come along to the Easter event, but at least here's the stuff. That way, everyone's on level playing field, and everyone kind of. I mean, some people say, "Oh, it's not. You got everything to make you feel special." You can feel special the fact that you're one of the people who's got who cares? If you want to feel special, you've got the Christmas stuff. There'll be people who don't have that until they get a chance to pick that up. There you go.
Yeah, you don't feel special with festive stuff. Bro, it comes around every year. What the fuck? If you want to get something special, get something really hard or really hard difficulty.
Feel special by how you personally have customized your cars.
Exactly, or get the fucking summary.
Make yourself look different. Make your vehicles look different. That's the point.
I got stuck in a FOMO area of my own time several years ago. You guys probably can remember this because it was not just me; it was the Weird Man as well. We got caught in Crash Team Racing, which is a really good game. Really good game. Really good kart racing game. Very solid kart racing. And even the expansions they added were great levels. The problem is, if you want to make sure you get all those costumes, all those things, and for me, so I'm very much a completionist. I'd like to have access to everything. So, and it's like, okay, that's fine. I'll just do this Grand Prix, and then I'll be done. And then, of course, a week later, after the end of the Grand Prix, they say, "Oh, the next one's now starting." And it grew to be like it's a full-time job playing this,
and you're not getting paid for it.
I'm not getting paid for it. And at the end, I did kind of break down and be like, "Oh, just fuck it. I'll buy the credits and just buy the stuff because I don't want to be spending all this time racing on this." And that's the point.
That's the point.
Yeah,
I'm thankful that I'm not that engrossed in the Crash Bandicoot world. I never played much of it growing. I played like the first one. I'm not that enthusiastic about the lore and the actual property itself. That I looked at Crash Team Racing and went, these reviews, it's full of these microtransaction shit. Yeah, I'm not buying it. And the only closest I got to actually picking it up was seeing all of y'all playing it.
Trust me, that's the saddest thing, because if you ignore all that bullshit, it's a really amazingly great game, because all it is cosmetics, even though... And people say that, oh, it's only cosmetics. I feel like, yeah, but cosmetics still matter to people. You know?
Yeah, like I don't understand this this argument of like it's just cosmetics. Yeah, so like cosmetics are what people like identify as.
Yeah.
Like they're the stuff you strut your stuff in, kind of thing. Like it's just
Yes.
cosmetics. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's still important.
Yeah.
Like
It's
just because
literally-
you want to live in a plastic bag under a bridge doesn't mean the rest of us don't do.
It's
I wanna
literally like
look nice.
saying
Yeah.
to a coin collector, stamp collector, it's just coins. It's just stamps.
I mean,
Yeah.
What are you on about?
I mean, if cosmetics weren't important, we wouldn't have Escape from Tarkov players in the 6 months of a wipe going through the absolute maddest quest you can think of, which is kill Killer, one of the toughest bosses in the game, 100 times to get his tracksuit.
If it was just cosmetics and they didn't matter, why are companies selling cosmetics then?
Yeah.
I
Also, if cosmetics didn't matter to people, why would there be thousands of cosplayers working for a couple of months a year to create a costume for May or for Reinhardt or for some character from Genshin Impact or another game that they play?
I mean, cosplayers take like concept art and every piece of media they can find, pause it, frame it, so they get all the straps and buckles right.
Yeah.
Because
You
they
want?
care about cosmetics.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, El?
Well, one thing, because Drifting's brought up The Sims. The thing about The Sims and The Sims store, at least I don't know how they do it, but I'd have a problem with DLC, because DLC is like, I can buy it whenever the hell I want. I can buy it whenever the hell I want. It's always going to be available within reason. Until an actual store shuts down. But
as we've been checking recently, it's not reasonable to buy all the DLCs for that game because it's like 300 quid.
Yeah, but still,
Too much.
The point is, the point is that
But it's available readily.
Let El finish.
It's
Sorry.
available when
Yeah.
I want it. I can call the shots on when I want to buy it. I don't like it when a game makes it, I've got to work to their time to get it. That to me it just seems ridiculous in terms of a case of, no, I played this game for my leisure. I don't want to be on a fucking clock for you game.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
I already have a day job.
Yeah, I mean that's also what bothers me about fucking blockchain games and these crypto bros being like, you could play, you could what was it, play to earn or something? You can play to
Yeah.
earn. It's just like, bro, I already have a job. Like I don't want it. Like as soon as I start earning from my video game, it's no longer a leisure thing. It's my fucking job. I don't want anything to do with it. Go away.
Don't even let me start on how horrible it was and how many all kinds of violations and horrible practices people were going through when they were testing the blockchain-based play-to-earn games, because that's ridiculous and horrible.
Yeah,
Not even any more horrible.
Yeah, one thing I do want to pull from the chat. I've been waiting for the optimum moment to talk about it. Drifting saying, shout out to dragoncave.net, which lets me collect the holiday specials from years ago as soon as you get everything in the current year. That's a free fucking forum. I remember when that wasn't a thing. I remember specifically the Halloween dragons, where it was the vampire dragons. And like, if you missed those vampire dragons, they couldn't fucking breed. So you like if you had those dragons and they were really good dragons, you could just lord it over everybody. thankfully, that's no longer a thing anymore, and I'm very glad to hear that you can get like the old dragons in the current year. But yeah, like there's FOMO even on free-form games.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that what really grinds my gears about all of this greatly is it's all artificial.
Yes.
It's not like
Yes.
there's it's not
Yes.
like it's not like there's like, oh, we only got so many of these because the factory that we have that manufactured them only pumped out this many. We literally could create as many of them as we want in the fucking world. We could have them for sale indefinitely, forever, and for all of time until it,
Artificial scarcity.
because it is
Yeah.
it is creating it's such a stupid thing. You're taking the one advantage of a digital medium and making it, you're restricting it to the realities of life, and it's like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
digital media. They are not these.
Yeah, there is a company though that did create a physical scarcity that deserves another kick in the ass because they've not been kicking the ass for too long. And I'm thinking you all know what company I mean.
Fuck you, Nintendo.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Fuck you for Mario All Stars.
Yeah. They also, the thing I don't understand is like the people who have like these things. Like I'm gonna take for example one of the WoW things because it's easier. Uh, there's a bird drop you get from like Legion, from the Legion head of the curve, which is it's a very pretty bird mount. It's an arcane raven kind of thing.
Ooh.
Very pretty, absolutely gorgeous mount. And like the one thing I don't get is like if Blizzard was to like bring it back in like a trading post item, or to just have it like be able to be purchased, you would get people who have that mount just lose their fucking shit going, oh well, it's not special anymore. It's like, who cares? Who fucking cares? If you okay, the sparkly bird is no longer a special item. Oh, boo-hoo!
I mean,
I cry. I cry big tears that I'm no longer a secret special boy in an MMO that means nothing. Oh dear.
that's also taking us onto a very tangential but very linked portion of fear of missing out.
What's that?
Console exclusives.
Oh yes.
like-
Yes.
You better buy our console or else you can't play this massively popular game.
That happened to me with Fable 2 and 3.
Oh.
I bought a Xbox 360 specifically to play those games.
I mean, Marvel is at its
Oh my
apex right now. It is one of the biggest franchises on the planet. And Sony went, Spider-Man. Yeah,
Yep, absolutely.
only here.
With exclusive DLC, if I remember correctly, as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yes, with the Avengers, yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Spider-Man and the Avengers. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing was happening to me in the late 90s, early 2000s, because I was fucking poor and I not have money to buy either PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2. And all the cool games were on that console. Like PC almost didn't have any games back then. It was like
Yeah.
all the cool games were on those consoles, and the only chance I had it was if I found someone who had one of those consoles and I could persuade them to, like, when they were going on vacation, to lend me and my brother the console for
Yeah,
like
I was the
2 weeks.
Nintendo. Yeah, I was the Nintendo kid in the sea of Sony people. Like it was not a fun time. And also, don't apologize, Drifting, for buying a Switch with Pokemon Shield, because Nintendo's terrible for this.
Yeah.
And it's morally correct to emulate all their games.
I will say, I think that that console exclusives, I personally feel like if we could get rid of them, we should. But there is the argument that they do create competition within the companies.
Oh,
wh-
100%.
which can be seen as positive. But in terms of the stuff that we're talking about FOMO, in terms of these exclusive events, because I think that they do nothing for really the companies. They don't really do anything bar
I know.
getting money out of the consumer. Really, more than this, they don't inspire competition. They don't inspire anything. It's just we want more money out of the consumer.
It's just
Yeah.
it's a get rich quick scheme. That's
Yeah.
all it
Basically.
is. I mean, you
Yeah,
could just leave it in the game, and
Yeah.
like people just give you money for a long period over
Yeah.
time, but because
I
you want to
feel-
have big returns now.
Yeah,
Do
I
it
feel that if
now.
anything, the exclusives quench the competition. Like, if you have an exclusive game and you can build a loyal fandom around it, you don't have to be competitive because you can just churn out more games in the genre or in the series because people will be loyal and want to play some more.
I mean, that's exactly how Nintendo has done it for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I would argue that that it creates competition because you always have to compete against those good games. You're always going to have games that have to compete against. You're always going to compete against Zelda. That means you've got to have a game that's as quality as Zelda, and it have to meet the same kind of levels of quality. That's why it's God of War. You got to compete with a game like that. You got to compete with a game like Starfield. You got to compete. There's always trying to one up each other. I think that can lead to good. And I think that console exclusives are a different thing because at the end of the day, if you wanted that game, you could pick up that console, many years later and still get that game. Whereas a lot of things that we're talking about in terms of FOMO are only there for like a month or if that.
Oh yeah,
We're talking
Overwatch limited time Halloween skins.
Yeah. The more equated
it's all just one big mass.
Yeah.
Just
And that's the
bits
thing.
of it.
Because it's all about it's preying on the fears of like you want to be part of the cool club, don't you? You want to make you want to make sure that people you're in part of the club, aren't you? You don't want to miss out.
That's Fortnite in a nutshell.
Yeah, I think also we need to also acknowledge that FOMO is also affected by our change in life because when we were kids, when we were teenagers, we could spend as much time as we goddamn liked grinding to get these things, and FOMO was still a thing. But like, okay, I'll just play this game for as long as I need to get the thing. Now we've got we've got property to look after, we've got jobs, we've got chores, we've got all sorts of other things. We don't have the time to mess about with FOMO stuff. Like, that's why it feels so egregious nowadays, because it's like, bro, what the fuck? I have other things to do than just play this video game all the time. Like, yeah. I love video games. Like, you could see, like, I've been playing Root to Patcher for like many hours of recent, but like, I don't want to be chained to the game forever, kind of thing. I could put that shit down and walk away and do something else.
Yeah, I want the gaming kind of like zeitgeist, the kind of the ecosystem to return. Go on, Bear.
Yeah, sorry. I think I'm gonna say the same thing as you are planning. Like, I want to be in the zeitgeist. I want to have a chance to talk to people, to my friends, about the current game at the same time as they are playing it. So when the game is relevant, because we get 200 games a month, and the games get irrelevant very quickly.
Yes.
Wasn't what I was going to say, but I also that is still a very good point. What I was going to say is I want to return to the gaming, the atmosphere of gaming where gaming works to our schedule. We don't work to gaming schedule.
Yes.
Because that is what it's like right now. Whereas in old games, where I'm going to just pull a game out of the top of my head, Soul Calibur 2, loads of unlockable characters. To unlock those characters, I have to go through and complete certain objectives within that game, and I could put the game down for a year. I could come back later, and I could still reach those objectives and still unlock those characters. What I don't want to
Smash
do,
Bros.
Yeah.
I was going to say Smash Bros is exactly the same. Like, you can't, like, there are characters to unlock, but like,
you can unlock them. Yes.
Anytime.
Your time. Yeah.
What I don't want to go is into a situation where we are now, where you want to unlock those skins. Well, instead of working to your schedule and in your own time, you got to work to hours. So you've got to do this within the next week. Otherwise, you're going to miss out the opportunity forever. I cannot. If you instantly do that, you're instantly going to shove me out of the direction of me being interested in your game, because you're basically saying, "Oh, you playing us and our game is more important than your time," which is like, no, my time is my time. I should have control over that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think with that we can give a big thumbs up to, once again, to Devolver Digital, because most of their games like that, Broforce, for example, you want to unlock all the bros, play whenever.
Just play the game.
Yeah.
Shadow, you had something you want to say, Shadow?
I was gonna ask, what do we feel about limited time stuff that is free for a limited time, but if you miss it, you can pay to get it.
I'm fine for that. I am fine for that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of not fine, and this is something that made me love Mortal Kombat much less, because this is the company that I really despise that spoiled two amazing franchises for me. One is Mortal Kombat, one is Lord of the Rings, Warner Brothers. They are the infamous as masters of FOMO microtransactions in that regard. And in both Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11, and I think Injustice 2 as well, they have in their shop those special offers, like they might be repeating like once every few months, but like this cosmetic item or this skin or this character is not available now. You can buy it now for lower price, or you can buy it later for much higher price, or you can buy it never.
That's not what I mean. What I mean is, like, in an event, a temporary event, you could maybe do some tasks, like you do the event, you get the thing for free, but as soon as the event ends, it goes away, but you can buy it either by in-game currency or premium currency to get it later. That's what I mean. Not like reduced price kind of thing.
Yeah, what I think you're saying, Shadow, is that the idea is that it's always accessible. What changes is it comes from free to you have to pay for it because you missed the window.
Yeah. Which I'm fine with, because it's like, okay, I don't really want to pay for it if I can help for it, but like if I miss it, I know it's still there, kind of thing.
And I can always get it.
I'm kind of fine, but not really, because it still forces you to work on their schedule.
Oh yeah, it's still shit. Like I'm not denying that
it's a compromise.
Shit, but it's like, it's a compromise. It's kind of like it could be free, but it's still here if I miss it. Regardless.
I mean, out of all the evil, this is fairly lesser evil. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's still evil.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're living in a capitalist hellscape. We take what we can get at the moment.
I mean, one game I very much enjoyed for its craziness did something similar with its entire game release.
Oh?
Totally accurate Battlegrounds.
Oh, yes.
Which is basically an insane physics-based version of a Battle Royale game. And for the first month, I think it was, the game was totally free. After that month, it was $5. And then a year later, they made it free to play.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's stupidly fun. I swear to God.
Justin says, evil.
I think we pretty much kind of because go on.
I wanted to say about another thing, kind of related to games, but not within games themselves. That I feel like something good has happened that makes it a bit less FOMO-y. We've been talking about that. You know how E3 is dead.
Yes.
And potentially for the next 3 years, because there were like the LA venue said that there's no renewal for 2024 and 2025. So when you have E3, you have bajillions of things to do within 3 or 4 days, or how long the E3 was lasting. and you have to split your time. You have to decide where you want to go, what you want to see, which vendors you want to meet, which presentations you want to see, because you can't see it all. But now it's spread in within 8 days, and every company is doing their shows at different times, and you can see everything.
That is good.
You no longer have that FOMO of like, if I go there, I will miss this, but if I go there, I will miss that. And suddenly you can see it all.
That is nice in terms of like events and things. I think because where you were going with it, like event wise, that is the limitation of like an actual world. Whereas a lot of what we were discussing within games and FOMO are things that are artificially made scarce where they don't
Yeah.
need to be, and it is a ploy that is meant to play on the psychological effect of that, because there's a lot of people out there who it gets into like the idea of you don't want to miss out. You want to be part of your friends club. You want to be talk with your friends and stuff. You don't want to. It's something you like, and you don't want to miss out on it. Because there's the chance that it may never come back. You don't know if it's ever going to come back. We say we bring things. Yeah, just pay us money. Yeah, pay us money to keep up. Yeah,
Pay money to keep up. You want to keep
Yeah.
up, don't you? You want to
Yeah.
keep up with your friends.
yeah, exactly.
You gotta pay money.
And it is insidiously sinister. It is insidious. It is. Oh,
It really
it's
is.
egregious, yes.
yeah.
Pretty scummy.
It is preying on a psychological condition.
Yeah. It's grifting, basically.
Mm.
Yes. Yeah, it is preying upon those people, because I'm one of those people. It's preying on, because I have that addictive personality that it just like come on, you just want
Yeah.
one more spin on the roulette wheel. Maybe next time you'll get me a fractal mount. Go on, just a couple more,
Yeah.
just a couple more cartel coins.
Yeah. I'm one of those people too. I've spent a lot of actual money on the loot boxes in Overwatch, and I don't even want to admit how much.
I spent a lot. I've seen old posts of mine on Tumblr. I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely had a problem. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Luckily, I got out of it quite quickly before it hit my finances pretty hard. But I mean, I was still living with my parents with them, but could have gone very badly.
I personally think this is a problem, and I'm not naive. It's not going to go away because it's too lucrative for the game industry. But I definitely think that we as gamers should do our duty to push back as much as possible against this. Like I say, I honestly do not mind if they said to me, okay, yeah, in this event you can earn this item, but the item will always be available and you can always purchase it in the future for cash. I'm fine with that. Because it means that in some way I can just always get that item. It's just I have to pay a bit, probably be a bit more than I would normally. Which, like, that's fine. At least I have access to it at all potential times, rather than just sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I get really annoyed when they have pre-order bonuses and then they don't make the pre-order bonus like eligible after the game's release. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, most games that have a pre-order bonus at least have a like, oh, we've released now, pay £5 and you can have that thing that we gave as a pre-order bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
That is precisely the point, Drifting, is this whole thing. The whole FOMO is artificially induced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just there to try and bleed more money out of people. It's disgusting behavior.
It's there entirely to make you go, you want this thing, right? You want all your friends have got this thing, you want this thing, get the thing.
Yeah.
Before it runs out.
You're just dangling the carrot in front of you, like, you want it. You want it, don't you? Come.
Yeah.
Get the thing.
Yeah, this is why it is important that we push back. Because if we don't push back, the publishers will never see any. They will never have any feedback against those practices, and they know that those practices work, because we have experienced that, and we have fallen prey to that already. So they will just put more and more of that.
This is why I'm allowing myself more time to consider buying games. I'll wait until they come out. I will wait for the reviews. I will wait for the in-depth discussion as to what its monetization is like before I dive into it.
Yeah, like there's a game that I really want, Fae Farm, but it's like it's 50. It's about like 40 or 50 quid at the beginning. I'm like, I'm just like, I really want you, but I cannot drop that much money straight away without without you going through the review process for people to go, like, oh yeah, it's good, oh it has bugs, kind of thing. Like I can't do that anymore. Like
Yeah. But paradoxically, the fact that there's so many things to get, it kind of makes me not want to get any of them. It's like I want to have this game and this game, and this one is released in autumn, and this one, and we've seen all those trailers. It's like bajillion games are gonna be released in September, October, November, and I'm like, there's so many games that I want to play, and then I'm just overloaded, and in the end, I will not get any of them.
yeah, and it's just like I've already got like a huge backlog. I can afford to just not have anything.
It's like one game coming up in 2 months' time, and I'm very much looking forward to Armored Core 6.
I think there's another
game.
Yeah, I think there's another game that's gonna be released in a couple of days on Friday that you are gonna be interested in. Because I've been reminded by the demo on the Next Fest that Ghost Trick is released on Friday.
Oh yeah, yeah. At least I've actually, we've already played some of that. We know it's good.
Oh yes,
it's a classic game. But Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, and I'm just sat here going, why are you asking me to pay 50 quid for a game that doesn't come out for 2 months and has had no reviews?
Yeah, it's like...
Is Armored Core a series from software? Is it that one or not?
It's Giant Robots. Yeah, it's from Soft.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's giant robots. You can customize your giant robot and run in and fight other giant robots. And it's like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we like to see.
Big robots.
And you might see when it comes out, depending on reviews.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's actually a good place for us to end tonight's episode. I think we kind of exhausted the idea of FOMO. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about in terms of the subject?
No.
I think we have.
I think we've
exhausted the subject. Yeah.
We've run its course with one final. Fuck you, FOMO.
Yeah, FOMO bad.
TLDR, FOMO bad. We do not like the FOMO. Nintendo's not fucking doing it. Goodbye.
Nintendo, stop doing it with actual products that you don't need to do it with.
Also, stop fucking being a bitch about oh, don't play this game that you can no longer buy anymore. Stop it. People are like, no, shut the fuck up.
That's the ultimate FOMO.
Yeah, make it available or shut the fuck up. It's morally righteous to emulate every single one of them.
Yep. If you are unable to find and purchase a game that was previously available, that is, in my opinion, abandonware and is completely justifiable in downloading a copy.
Yeah.
Go on. Sorry. I wanted to discuss one thing because I remember now there is one example of FOMO behavior and FOMO practice that I found kind of funny and entertaining, and I enjoyed it. Do you remember the Steam sales of old, where some games would be extra discounted on one day?
Yeah, that was always fun. The flash sales.
Yeah,
yes,
I miss those.
Yeah, they were really cool. Stressful, but really cool.
That was cool. That was fun. That's the kind of FOMO event that I enjoyed.
Well, sales are different because sales are that's part of culture in terms of that. No,
it's not like the game disappears.
Yeah,
that's true.
Right at the sale.
It's more like this is a unique discount that might not return until the next Steam sale.
Also, I like that topic.
I really do. Yes. Add it to the list.
Yeah.
Abandonware games at a point, like games you are heartbroken were abandoned, games you never got the hype for. So I literally have a game that was that is abandonware that has the word hype in it, drifting. So yes, I know there's a game close to my heart that you can no longer buy.
Yeah, I have two that's technically abandonware.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Here's one.
Dark
Oh,
Colony.
Dark Colony. Oh
Yeah.
shit, that's a blast from the past.
Yep.
Not this
You can't
episode.
find this anywhere. It's not on GOG. It's nowhere.
Yeah.
This is
No.
a very thing. There's something you can't get anymore.
Not in this episode. Let's save it for another episode.
Yeah.
But no, save it. Yes, but no. We don't know what the next topic will be next time. We'll probably peruse the list and just see what we feel like talking about. But yeah, we'll make sure we get you your abandonware so one added to the list as well.
It has been added to the list,
and we shall see where it takes us. I want to thank the hosts today of the show, but of course my name is Ebac, joined by Burr,
Blap.
Shadow,
Hello.
and